let's look at Natlan's concepts, and sorry if they're mostly low quality, they were taken from the Tevat Expo in Paris. Starting with Shalonen, the core parts of her design seem to have stayed intact, like her shoes, her shorts, crop top, and hair. However, her necklace is different, and it seems she was supposed to have some kind of headband or hood. The most different out of these concepts is one where she wears more dark colors, a cloak, and no animal features. Varessa's concepts only shows child her and her father. Moving on to Iansan's concept, she was originally going to have a mainly red and orange color palette, and judging by her design, she might have been in a different tribe than she originally ended up being in. She was also going to have this tail and a completely different hairstyle. On to Kanich, pretty similar stuff, except his pants were going to be a whole lot more elaborate. He was going to have a completely sleeveless shirt and a completely different headband. There's also some concepts of a Howl. See, look at that little fellow with his dapper little bow tie. A Howl was supposed to be cute and nice instead of the spawn of Satan. There's also a concept of his burst and the concept of his idol where he plays Flappy Bird on his watch, which is pretty funny. Moving on to Malwika, she gets some pretty interesting concepts for her helmet and her sunglasses, along with some designs. The biker theme seems to be incredibly consistent with most of her designs. However, there are some slight divergences, with one of her designs leaning into more of a Phoenix tribal theme, and the other one trying to make her look like molten lava. On to Chaska, she was going to have more of a skeleton motif and a bird skull on her hat. She seems to also have a different personality, as well as her originally riding a bird instead of her giant gun. They really wanted to keep the skeleton motif for her before they scrapped it and gave it to Aoife. Mualani gets a lot of nifty outfits. They really wanted her to have beach and summer wear. She does get some interesting hair variations. Honestly, wouldn't mind if any of these became skins. Lastly, she gets some concepts of Sharky, with it resembling more of the Saurians, and even a concept where she rides atop a seal. So those are all the concepts I'm sharing today. What are your thoughts about them? Let me know in the comments.